In this video, I'm going to tell you how you can stop doing this awful thing, which I'll mention soon, but first remember to subscribe, stick around to the end, and check out the links in the description for some cool stuff. Now, this awful thing is actually when you are scrolling, you're overstimulating yourself, whether it be from TikTok, Instagram, video games, Netflix, you take your pick. I don't know what your active kind of dopamine addiction is, but you're doing this while you're eating. And like when you eat normal healthy food, bear this in mind, normal healthy food, your dopamine will spike a bit and then it will return back to normal. However, when you eat unhealthy food, like the majority of food is nowadays, because either big food companies sprinkle lots of sugar in our foods, or we eat fast foods and sugary snacks on our own accord, your dopamine like spikes and then it goes back down and you end up craving more. And that is how sugar addictions and addictions in general actually kind of start to develop. And when you do this while you're scrolling, and if you're probably scrolling, it's probably going to be unhealthy food because of just the whole, if you do some bad habits, you're probably going to do others and that kind of thing. Your dopamine is going to spike and then it's going to go really far down and it's going to leave your dopamine receptors fried. You're going to, like, I don't know, satiate your dopamine addiction through any kind of act you can find. That's just how internet addictions develop. And my sister does this all the time. She'll watch Netflix while she's eating, and even for me, when I try to focus on naturally mindfully eating my food, I still get distracted because it's like all the visuals and the colors and the sounds, it like spikes your dopamine, and then when you stop watching it, it like goes below your baseline, and that's going to make you crave more of it. And that's just how addictions develop, as I've said. And when she stopped watching this one Netflix show like I told her to, then like she'll just end up scrolling on TikTok while she's eating her food, and it's kind of the same sort of thing. People just need dopamine because the dopamine they get from eating is not enough, because it actually creates like a bigger spike as well and a bigger fall when you do both of these multitasking acts together, and that makes like you crave like the height of your dopamine even when your baseline is really low, and it just causes you to like gratify in eating sugar and playing video games, watching Netflix, scrolling on TikTok. They're the kind of acts that get you easy dopamine, so to speak. And how exactly can we stop you from being hooked to your phones and your Netflixes, your TVs while you're eating, and just start to kind of eat in a peaceful way? Because let's be honest, scrolling on the internet, that's not like such a horrible thing. But when you do it combined with something that already gives you enough dopamine to sustain yourself, that's when it becomes quite a big issue. And obviously, firstly, I'm just going to say delete your social media apps and delete your Netflixes, but people cope and they say that, oh, I can't do that because of this, that, and the other. But realistically, you can. If you like deleted it, you probably would like struggle after the first few days, and then after a while, you just wouldn't notice. And like that's what you should do. However, if you need social media because you make money on it, or you're just coping because your friends are on it, that's where things happen and stuff like that, then obviously just leave your phone in another room. When you go to kind of eat at the dining table or in the living room, wherever the hell you eat, leave your phone in your bedroom. And obviously then you're going to kind of have to force yourself to eat mindfully. And if you end up needing the dopamine, you have to walk all the way to your bedroom to get your phone to scroll. That's gonna like trigger some kind of guilt psychologically, and you're just gonna end up like saying, nah, this isn't good. I'm just gonna push through it and have to just eat normally like a normal person would. But however, most people nowadays have a TV in their house, and if you don't, then great, you probably don't suffer with this issue. But if you have a TV in your house, I don't recommend that. If you and your friends are sitting around watching TV, having fun, and you are having a meal, I don't recommend being antisocial and like turning the TV off. Every once in a while is not going to hurt you, but we don't want to develop an addiction here, and we don't want to develop you like eating your meals, your dinner, your breakfast, your lunch in front of the television or while you're scrolling, like just generally throughout your life. That's an unhealthy habit to get into, and we want you to stop doing that. And so obviously I don't really know why TVs are so like necessary for so many people nowadays. Like the only things that I've ever watched TV for are either as a child when I was watching like cartoons or sports programs. And even then I don't watch a hell of a lot of that nowadays. And TV just seems like more of a distraction to like other people's purposes and my own purposes, whatever your kind of goals in life are. And if you really want to, then you can just get rid of your TV altogether. But if obviously that's also not possible, kind of like the whole just delete social media, then just eat in another room. Eat instead of eating in the room that your TV's in. Maybe you eat on the sofa. Just like eat on a table that's in your bedroom, or eat on a table that's in your dining room, or wherever, anywhere else that's not got a TV in it. And the same sort of thing applies to if you've got a family. Your family will keep you accountable. Maybe you're eating with your parents or your siblings, like I do to my sister. Your family will keep you accountable for doing and indulging in these bad habits. If you're eating at the dining table, having a nice conversation with your family are going to pick up on the fact that you're scrolling while you're eating, and they're probably going to tell you off. And obviously that's a good thing, because it's a bad habit and it's unhealthy. And so many people will say that, oh, there's like strict parents and stuff. But let's be honest, it is like it's well informed of the parents to want to stop you from scrolling while you're eating, because they may not know the reasons behind it, but they can understand that this multitasking all the time is going to be bad for you, and scrolling while you do anything or everything that you do is going to be bad for you. They understand this because like they probably slightly got hooked before, but not really understood the whole kind of dopamine things, but they just seem to know that phones and technology was bad for you even before like we as children actually started to understand that we can get hooked onto this stuff. And I hope you can take this advice with, like, you actually start to take actionable steps towards eating your meals mindfully and like a normal person would. And yeah, if you need any other help on anything kind of self-improvement related, I've got some links in the description which have some cool stuff in them, and I recommend subscribing because it's free. And I love this community of young tribal men who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have. So good luck.